I have been going through a bit of a tower moment of late. The cards I drew for myself are with the Ten of Wands and the Five of Cups in reverse. Is like two or threefold that why I feel that I'm in a tower. It's been challenging to get any content done on both of my channels of Tools of Fortune and 999 Show. What happened was, this was a week ago Friday. I was getting ready to go to a family reunion for exactly 1 week ago today, and I noticed mouse droppings in my pots and pans. I had already knew about that I'd been attacked by a rodent in my food pantry, and I had to actually throw almost everything out from in my food pantry. I did get I think I got that mouse out of there. Now, I live right across the street from an industrial field, and it is very difficult to keep the rodents out. I work really, really hard on that. So like last fall, I plugged up all the holes in my foundation with steel wool, and I had a reprieve of 6-7 months, I don't know, whatever, from like September till about 3 weeks ago. A reprieve, a rest from the rodents. But when I noticed those droppings in my pots and pans, because I was going to bring to this family reunion this a coleslaw, a homemade coleslaw, and I couldn't, because it was like, there it was, mouse droppings on your cutting boards, mouse droppings in the pans that you were going to go bring the item to the reunion. And so I just felt so demoralized that it was just like I could not function. And so for me, that is what a tower moment is like, where I cannot function. Now, I left late to the reunion, and then on the way home I realized that the retinopathy that I have in my eyes made driving at night difficult. So with the automobiles with the very super bright lights, well, those super bright lights that were right on my tail, because they wanted to go 70, and I could barely go above 45 because I had a hard time seeing. These are the consequences of diabetes, of having damage to your eyes. Even though my A1C is not all that high, nevertheless, I've been pre-diabetic for 30-40 years, I think. So anyway, it's just that the consequences of having high blood sugar over time is, even if it's not that high, you can gain negative affects of metabolic dis-ease. But nevertheless, the Saturday when I got home, and around after midnight, I get a call, and then it was about the dog, and of a person, a relative, calling to say if I wanted to take the dog, and I did take the dog. So that Ten of Wands and a Five of Cups in the reverse form. And so that's kind of like in a sense of this new hope that is coming, a new hope that is coming. But I'm going to be going through a challenge of a hard work. And that hard work of pushing those wands, those 10 wands, up the hill. Numerically, this is a new beginning. 10 boils down to the number 1. It is the end of the line, and it's the beginning of something new, because that's what happens at the end of 10. Over here we have a 5. 5 is about change, but this is a 5 in a reverse form. So there's a reluctancy there. It is still going to be hard, whatever I'm facing. So accommodating a new dog into my life, this is going to be hard. I had a hard life. It was in its first year of its life, it was abused. This is, at my place, it's the 4th time, and so this is its forever home. I'm going to give this dog a forever home. And so there was a fella who said that some change was going to be happening. Well, I think this might be the change they're talking about, something that will result in a better situation, because learning to love another it brings about transformation and change in your life. Children are hard. No, I didn't have children, but in my life I am caring for my mother, who is 86, and now I'm caring for a dog that is 16, another dog that is 2 years old, and has some trauma, a lot of trauma in its 2 years of life. And so that's kind of what I see when I look at these cards. In this is there's going to be some difficult times ahead, and it characterized that this is what is going on exactly in this moment. So I got that massive cleanup to do, to clean up after those rodents. I have a new creature, a new life that has come into my life, and that requires me to accommodate a new life into my life. Maybe it's not a person, but it is a person, because we are all brothers and sisters here on this earth. We are all related in one fashion or another. What do they say, that the human beings share like 70% of the same DNA as bananas? And that sounds kind of nuts, doesn't it? But we are all related. Biologically, we are all related in this cosmos. Whether that child be a human child, or that child be a dog child or a cat child, it's still a child that needs to be cared for. But yes, so I am going through what I call a tower moment, and usually it, to me it demarks the difficulties that I've had in doing my show, doing Tools of Fortune and 999 show. Everything has just come to a slamming halt.